One of the famous speeches by Theodore Roosevelt is citizenship in a republic. So this speech is better known as Man in the Arena. It is given by Roosevelt, the former president of United States, at the Sorbonne in Paris, France, on April 23, 1910. In this speech, Roosevelt emphasizes how the success of a nation relied or depends on its citizens and their work and quality. He believes that everyone can do something for his country. Roosevelt, who often referred to as Teddy Roosevelt Jr., served as the 26th President of the United States from 1901 to 1909. As an American statesman and politician, he served the nation with distinction. During his presidency, he confronted the conflicts between big business and labor. He was also a conservationist. He won the Nobel Prize for Peace in 1906 for making an end to Russo-Japanese War in 1904-5. Roosevelt states that he will speak on the subject of very importance, that is individual citizenship, as he is speaking before the citizens of great democratic republics. At the outset, he emphasizes the role of every citizen in a democratic republic. In his view, in the context of a democratic republic, the question of the quality of individual citizen is supreme. For that, he says each of us must be a good citizen. Roosevelt also talks about other forms of government in which the quality of the rulers is important. But the case of a democratic republic is different, in which the average man and the average woman play a significant role in its success or failure. In the words of Roosevelt, the main source of national power and national greatness is found in the average citizenship of the nation. So, it is our responsibility that the standard of the average citizen is kept high. This is possible when only the standard of the leaders is very much higher. Roosevelt warns those people who are highly educated but do not dare to attempt. These people use their education only to scoff at or criticize those who attempt to do something. Such the man of learning, a person of lettered leisure, criticizes the work of others even though he has not attempted what others are doing. Roosevelt states the poorest way to face life is to face it with a sneer. It is a sign of weakness which eventually becomes a way of thinking and reacting to the world. Roosevelt expects that good citizens should take the path of hard work and shun the life of leisure to make their contribution to the community positive. Roosevelt's meaningful statement, "It is not the critic who counts," expresses his rejection of men who belittle others. This part of the passage is perhaps the often quoted of all statements by Roosevelt. Here he talks about both a critic and the man who is actually in the arena. A critic goes on to point out errors and shortcomings in others. Roosevelt firmly believed that one can learn by doing, but the critic points out how the strong man stumbles. He admires the one who attempts and stumbles. There are the people who do nothing and criticize those that are in the arena. Roosevelt appreciates a man in the arena who gets involved in a situation that requires courage, skill, or persistence. The face of a man in the arena is marred by dust, sweat, and blood. Such a man strives courageously. In his efforts, he commits errors. There will be no effort without error. A man in the arena knows what is enthusiasm and devotion. He lives his life for a worthy cause. Roosevelt advises all his listeners to live like the man in arena. His powerful words inspire not only the people of France but everyone in the world. He proves that he provides the methods to the listeners to achieve greatness and the greatness that all human beings desire. So that few strive for. Roosevelt also comments about those who know neither victory nor defeat. In other words, those who choose the path of interaction but criticize the work of others. The speech emphasizes Roosevelt's belief that the success of a republic is rested on the quality of its people. What is the meaning of arena? An arena means some sport event or concerts. Okay, so where public there you find is there around that event. So in this way, arena is important. The speech emphasizes Roosevelt's belief that the success of a republic is rested on the quality of its people. It is the disciplined work and character of citizens that matters, according to Roosevelt. A fine superstructure cannot be built without having a firm foundation. For a strong foundation, each person has to become a good parent as well as good citizen. Roosevelt declines to recognize the man of having only material richness as an asset to any nation. In his opinion, it is a bad thing for a nation to raise and to admire a false standard of success. He disapproves of the standard which is based upon the deification of material well being. The man who does not return anything to the nation is an unworthy citizen of the community, according to Roosevelt. Roosevelt also expresses his views on property rights and human rights. He opines that in every civilized society, property rights must be carefully protected. Sometimes, if there is a conflict between property rights and human rights, then human rights must have the upper hand. Roosevelt here firmly says that property belongs to man and not man to property. Further, he talks about two distinct gifts, the gift of money making and the gift of oratory. Money making to a moderate degree is essential, but it should be accompanied and controlled by other qualities. In the context of the gift of oratory, a leader of opinion in democracy should be able to express his views clearly and convincingly. There should be harmony between the words and deeds. Roosevelt knows that well chosen, pretty words can influence people's attitude. It is a sign of political weakness if the people tend to be carried away by mere oratory. Roosevelt laments those who use persuasion without common sense and good values. In his view, to admire the gift of oratory without regard to the moral quality behind the gift is to do wrong to the republic. While talking about the duty of a citizen, Roosevelt continues that the citizen must have ideas and he must be able to achieve them practically. He talks about the impractical visionary and the preacher of ideas who stand in contrast to a man who stumbles and faces shortcomings. The so called practical men who disbelieve in morality and decency and disregard high standards of living and conduct are the worst enemy of the body of politics. So, in this way, he expresses his views regarding the democratic nation. We can apply this to India also, and in that way it is true that when you want to develop any nation, there that contribution of every individual is important. Let's stop here.